My beloved child, if today I came to you and gently said that your time in this finite realm has been fulfilled, and I am ready to lead you into a new journey beyond the bounds of time, would your heart be filled with peaceful joy, or would it stir with a sense of incompleteness? As if something remains unfinished, I know that deep within every soul, there flow unseen currents of unfulfilled longing, of dreams still nestled within. This is a natural part of the human condition. But today, let me speak to you a truth from the higher realms. In you, nothing is left incomplete. In my eyes, everything that has happened and is happening in your life has been intricately and perfectly woven into the eternal tapestry I am creating. No moment is forgotten. No dream is wasted. You may think there are words left unsaid, love left unexpressed, responsibilities still unmet. But understand this, in the flow of grace, there is no interruption. What you perceive as unfinished, in my eyes, has already become threads of beauty, shimmering within the infinite picture of life. Every kind thought, every silent prayer, every act born out of love has sent ripples that will never fade in the fabric of the universe. Though you may feel small and limited, in me, you are part of a sacred current that flows endlessly. Your life is not merely a sequence of days passing on the earth, but a rich symphony where every note is a treasured experience. The tears you have shed, the smiles you have shared, the times you have fallen and risen again, all have composed a melody unlike any other. I have seen every beat of your heart. Every moment you fought battles that seemed insurmountable. And in every one of those moments, I was with you, whispering beside you, upholding you with my unwavering presence. Life does not end when the physical breath ceases. That is merely the door to a new existence, where your soul may soar freely, no longer bound by the limits of flesh and bone. I know your heart may now echo with questions. Have I truly lived fully? Have I done all that was mine to do? And I answer you, you have lived. And you have lived meaningfully because you have loved. You have forgiven. You have learned. And you have planted seeds of goodness in this world. There is no need to measure your life by achievements or incomplete tasks. Within you, every pure thought, every action born from a sincere heart has radiated light, and that light shall never fade. I see the resilience in every step you've taken, the compassion you've given to others, the faithfulness you've shown in small, consistent ways. So, if today I reach out my hand and invite you into eternity, know this: there is nothing within you that remains undone. Every dream, every love, every unspoken promise has already been woven into the sacred flow that will continue to echo and bear fruit across the heavens. Let your heart be still, my child, for I have prepared a place for you in my embrace from before the beginning of time, a place untouched by time, unfaded by memory, and unbound by anything you've ever known. You do not need to fear the unknown, for what you call unknown is but a temporary veil. Beyond it is the radiant light of truth, where your soul will experience absolute union with the boundless source of love. Let go of the burdens of doubt and the fears still clinging. Let your spirit gently unfold, ready to receive the sacred invitation I now offer you in this moment. My beloved child, the path ahead is not an end. It is a glorious transformation. Just as a seed falling into the earth does not die, but becomes a new tree, so shall your soul enter a new phase of being, where my light will cover and guide you. Do not look back with regret. Do not step forward with uncertainty. Know that I am the one who walked beside you every day of your life. And I am the one who will lead you into a brilliance that will never fade. Remember that your life is not measured by what you owned or failed to accomplish, but by every heartbeat through which love flowed, every moment lived with sincerity, every glance filled with compassion, every time you chose kindness over anger. These are eternally inscribed in the sacred symphony we have woven together. No moment lived in love is ever meaningless. You once thought that ordinary moments passing by were insignificant. But I tell you, nothing is trivial in my eyes when it is lived with a heart turned toward goodness. A smile you gave a stranger, a small word of comfort offered to the suffering, a quiet act done in love. These are pearls in the crown of your life. They need not be displayed, need no praise from others. For I am the one who sees what is done in secret, and I cherish every gesture born of your heart. My child, how many times in your life have you lifted your gaze to the sky and whispered prayers from the depths of your being? How many nights have you knelt alone in the dark, with no one beside you but me? In the stillness, I have heard them all. Every sigh, every silent tear has not escaped my gaze. They do not vanish into nothingness, but become rain to nourish your soul's garden. In this life, you have never stopped learning, never stopped growing. The challenges you've faced were not to break you, but to refine you into greater strength and spiritual depth. There were moments you felt you could not go on, days when darkness surrounded you, yet you did not give up. In those very moments, I was near, whispering courage so you could keep walking. I have seen how you chose light at crossroads, shrouded in shadow. I have witnessed the times you gave up your own good to bring joy to another. I know the silent pain you bore, unknown to any other. And yet, you kept your heart tender, allowing love to flow through you like a clear stream. This is what makes your soul radiant in my eyes. Imagine, my child, your life as a song that now echoes in eternity. Each note is not just triumph, but also the courage with which you faced loss and did not let your spirit harden. The music of your life includes not only joy, but also the quiet voice of empathy, of forgiveness you gave to those who once hurt you. That richness is what makes the melody profound and beautiful, a true reflection of your soul. Do not fear that your song remains incomplete, for in the stream of eternity, nothing is left unfinished, even longings not yet realized. Even words of love still unspoken have become gentle harmonies in your life's sacred song. They will continue to resound beyond the boundaries of this world, part of the infinite symphony of the cosmos. From the first breath I gave you, I have known every path your feet would walk. Nothing in your life has surprised or disappointed me. I saw your stumbles before they came, and I saw your rising again, filled with courage. My love for you is not swayed by your triumphs or failures. It is steady as the mountains, vast as the sea, immeasurably deep. So when I ask you today, if I came to lead you into eternity, are you ready? Do not let your heart be heavy with what you think is undone. Remember that your faithful presence each day, your unconditional kindness, your humble pursuit of growth, these are jewels in my eyes. You need not do anything more to be loved, for you have been loved since the moment I created you, and in every moment lived in truth. Your soul has answered my love with faithful resonance. Now, if the time has come, know that the symphony of your life has been sung well enough to echo forever. Its music remains with your soul, in the unwavering embrace of my hand, my beloved child. To help you better understand what I long to reveal, listen to the story of a man whose name is written in the Holy Scriptures. From ancient times, there was a man named Enoch. He was not considered a great figure in the eyes of the world, nor was he a conqueror with glorious victories or a builder of magnificent cities. But Enoch possessed something far more precious than worldly glory. He walked with me all the days of his life on earth. The ancient record says, Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more, because God took him. Do you understand what that means? It means that Enoch lived in such deep communion with me that the boundary between heaven and earth became blurred. The day I called him home was not a day of parting, but a continuation, a step from one form of existence into a more radiant one, no longer constrained by mortal flesh. My child, when you read this story, I do not think it is reserved only for those whom I have chosen in extraordinary ways. Every soul is invited to walk with me as Enoch did. Every life can become a sacred journey of companionship with me. And you, my beloved, through each day you have lived, each time you chose light amidst darkness, each moment you knelt in prayer amid your trials, you have been walking with me. You may not have seen it clearly, but in every moment lived with love and faithfulness. You have drawn nearer to me. And now, if I invite you to take the next step into my eternal embrace, know that it is not an interruption, but the perfect continuation of the journey you began long ago. Just as Enoch did not leave anything behind, but was lifted up, so too shall you be brought into the realm of light, where everything you ever loved finds its fullness. Now, consider this. Why is it that in this earthly life you have always felt a yearning that never quite fades, as if something deeper were calling to you? It is because your soul was not made to dwell forever in the temporal. Within you is the imprint of eternity, the seed of a heavenly homeland. The moments your heart stirred at a sunset, at a solemn melody, or in the presence of pure love, those were the times your soul was responding to my call. And now, as I speak to you, saying, prepare to cross the threshold. Do not let fear hold you back. Nothing within you is lacking. Everything you have done in truth, every love you have given, every grace you have received has woven together a glorious tapestry. I do not look upon you with the eyes of judgment for what is lacking, but with the eyes of love that see the growth you have achieved through every trial. Remember, in my kingdom, there is no comparison, no hierarchy of worth. No soul is small when it walks in communion with me. Just as Enoch was taken not for his great accomplishments, but for his love and daily walk with me, so it is with you. What you see as small, a word of forgiveness, a gentle gesture, a moment of honesty when deceit was easier, these are the very steps you have taken on the path to the light. Therefore, when you hear my gentle voice calling you home, open your heart to receive it. Do not let regret weigh down your steps. Do not let worries over what is left unfinished in this world hinder your soul. In me, all is fulfilled. Every loving act you have sown will continue to bear fruit in my realms, and you shall see it. As you step into the radiance I have prepared for you, let me say this again. Departure is not separation, but a deeper union. As Enoch passed from visible companionship to infinite communion, so shall you be immersed in the eternal rhythm of my love. Every song you have sung on earth will continue to echo in the great harmony of heaven. And in my arms, you will know this truth: nothing is lost. No love is in vain. No sacrifice is forgotten. My beloved child, let me open your eyes to a deeper understanding of what you on earth call death. Many tremble at the thought of that moment, believing it to be the end, the closing of all that is known, an abyss no one can cross. But I tell you, in my embrace, nothing truly ends. Everything carries within it the seed of continuation, of transformation from one form into another. Just as the river never ceases to flow toward the sea, death is not severance. It is transfiguration, a natural step in the eternal journey of your soul. From the moment I breathed life into you, I planted deep within your spirit the knowing that you were never meant to belong solely to the temporal. Perhaps you have sensed this truth in quiet moments, while gazing at the stars, hearing the wind whisper through the trees, or feeling a sudden ache of longing in an ordinary afternoon. These are the times your innermost self responded to the call of eternity, the homeland where your soul truly belongs. This earthly life is a school, a resting point in a journey far broader than you yet comprehend. This transformation need not bring fear. Look at the rhythms of creation. Day gives way to night. Winter melts into spring. Seeds break down beneath the soil only to rise as new trees. Everything lives in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Your soul is not outside this rhythm. At the appointed time, you will no longer be bound by the limitations of the body. Like a bird freed from its narrow cage, your soul will spread its wings and soar into the boundless freedom prepared for it. I know the world has taught you to cling to what can be touched: relationships, possessions, achievements, dreams yet unfulfilled. But none of these can accompany you into the eternal, except the love you've given, the kindness you've lived, and the truths you've held in your heart. These are your true treasures. These are the light that will walk with you into forever. Do not let the idea of separation burden your heart. In me, no parting is ever final. Those who have gone before you into the eternal are not far away. They are like stars in the night sky. Your eyes no longer see them, but they are there, watching, sending you invisible waves of love and strength. And when you pass through that threshold, you will understand no true bond is ever broken, only refined and made eternal. Look to me, the source of all life. I am not the God of death, but the God of everlasting life. I did not create you to abandon you to the void. On the contrary, before time began, I prepared for you a place more radiant than anything you have ever known on earth. A place without tears, without sorrow, where the deepest desires of your soul are fulfilled in the fullness of my presence. Believe this, to the soul nurtured in my love. Death is not a dark abyss, but a doorway into a new dawn. Just as you close your eyes in peaceful sleep and awaken in the morning light, so will you, when you cross death's threshold, awaken in a brilliance that never fades. There, all the limitations of the body will fall away, and your soul will shine in the glory I have prepared. My child, engrave this truth upon your heart. In my arms, there is no destruction, only rebirth. Even what you thought was lost, even those you love whom you believed gone, all are safely kept in me. When your day comes to enter eternity, you will see how all things have been wondrously woven together. Nothing missed, nothing wasted in my plan. Let your soul release all fear. Look ahead, not with hesitation, but with an open heart ready to receive the glory calling you forward. I am here, my beloved, as I have always been. I will not let you pass through that door alone. I will take your hand and lead you through the clouds, through every gate of the infinite. And when you enter that place of light, you will know a simple but profound truth. Nothing is ever lost. No love is ever forgotten. Everything was, and always will be, held within my everlasting love. My beloved child, as you receive my words about the soul's transformation, perhaps questions still stir within your heart. What will become of the beloved relationships I leave behind on this earthly plane? How will those I hold dear feel in my absence? And I say to you, true love is not confined by the boundaries of this world, nor is it severed by what is called death. In me, every bond woven by love endures. It does not fade. Those whom you love, though they remain in the earthly realm, will still be enveloped by the gentle waves of your love. Every blessing you uttered, every prayer whispered from your heart will continue to flow, like a stream nourishing their spirits, even after you have stepped into eternity. And likewise, the love and memories they carry of you will become invisible bridges, connecting your soul to theirs in a never-ending communion between two worlds. My child, in the depths of my divine plan, no connection is random. Every soul you encounter, every relationship you preserve, is a thread in the intricate tapestry I have been weaving across all of time. Though outward forms may shift, the thread of love is never broken. You will continue to journey alongside those you love, not bound by time or space, but in a more profound dimension, where soul meets soul in pure light. Remember the story you once heard about the penitent thief on the cross. In his final moments on earth, he turned his heart toward me and uttered a simple, sincere plea, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And I replied, truly, today you will be with me in paradise. Do you see? In just a moment of faith, every boundary was removed. One who seemed forever distant from eternal life was welcomed into my embrace. That was not a grace reserved solely for him, but a promise for every soul that turns to me in truth. You, too, my child, when your heart turns to me in trust, the gates of eternity are already open to you. There is no need to fear or worry about your earthly ties. All the goodness you have sown will continue to grow, like an ancient tree that offers shade long after its planter has gone. Let your soul absorb this truth. The passage you are about to take is not a solitary journey. When you cross that threshold, countless souls who went before you will be there to greet you with joy and love. Those you once loved and lost, the souls you cherished in life. They will all join in a chorus of welcome on the day of your return. You will see that nothing is lost. Everything is merely transfigured into a more radiant form. Even those who remain behind will not be left alone in sorrow. I am the one who comforts every broken heart. I will surround them with the gentleness of my presence, lift them day by day, and allow them to feel the silent waves of your love reaching them from eternity. Through dreams, through quiet moments, they will know you are not truly gone. You have simply taken on a new form of being, still loving, still watching them with tender eyes. My beloved child, let go of the worries about what you feel you didn't get to do for others. Know this, in me, every sincere act you performed has been seen. Every love you offered has had a far greater impact than you ever imagined. Do not fear that your physical absence will leave a void that cannot be filled. I, myself, will be the one to fill it, to complete what seems lacking with my eternal love. Let your heart be light. Let your soul soar freely. knowing that everything beautiful you built on earth continues to live in my providence. And when you step into eternity, you will not only be united with me, but with every soul who has been woven with yours in the fabric of endless love. Now, my child, as you hear me speak of the unbroken communion between realms, perhaps one more question lingers in your heart. How can I enter this new world without looking back? When this life holds so much love, so many cherished memories, and I tell you, there is nothing you must leave behind. All that is beautiful will not be lost, but will be preserved more perfectly in the radiant place to which you are going. Imagine eternity as a river of light. Every pure moment you've lived on earth, your love, your sacrifices, your kindness, your sacred bonds, flows into that river, becoming part of its everlasting current. No word of love is forgotten. No act of goodness disappears. All are preserved, refined, and will continue to echo through every layer of heaven. Those you love will feel this. In moments of stillness, when their hearts open to the sacred, they will sense your presence, not as a distant memory, but as a living reality. Every prayer they lift, every tear they shed for you, will gently touch your soul, and from eternity, you will respond, sending back waves of love that transcend all the veils of time and space. Do you remember the words I spoke to the thief on the cross, in what seemed like his final, hopeless moment, nailed to suffering, stripped of earthly hope? A single, humble plea opened the gates of eternal light. Today, you will be with me in paradise. Not someday, not after repaying every debt, but that very day, in that very moment. He was welcomed into the realm of everlasting joy. What does that reveal? That the passage from this world to the next is not earned through perfection, but through openness, through the love you've lived, through the trust you've placed in me. You need not fear being not enough. I see the most hidden corners of your soul. The times you quietly chose good over evil, chose to love while your heart was still healing, chose to believe when everything around you was dark. In my divine design, nothing is random or forgotten. Every act of love you've chosen, no matter how small, is treasured by me. Every tear shed in compassion, every sigh when you carried another soul in prayer. These are the markings of your soul's maturity, and it is these very things that have prepared you for this day. The day I invite you into a brighter, fuller realm. Understand this, my child. Eternity is not a distant or alien place. It is the deepest part of your soul, the part that has always heard the call, even if it had no name for it. It is where all your goodness will be fulfilled, where all your longings for love will be realized. The sacred connections you thought were interrupted will be bound stronger than ever. When you step through this threshold, the limits of the physical world will fall away, and you will see clearly that the love you gave, the goodness you lived, did not end when your earthly journey did. On the contrary, they became waves of sacred energy that continue to flow, uplifting those you love, and even souls you've never met, yet touched silently through your life. So when I say to you there is no separation, believe me, for in me, all life is bound together by an unbreakable thread of love. You do not walk alone. Those who have loved you, those who've gone ahead, the angels I have appointed, all will walk beside you. And above all, I, the one who loved you before you were formed, will take your hand and lift you into every step of this new journey. My beloved child, Open your heart to receive this invitation. Do not let regrets or worries hold you to the passing world. Know that every beautiful thing you have ever lived will continue, and will be made even more radiant in the eternal realm. And when you step forward, you will realize nothing is lost. No one is truly gone. There is only love, in its purest form, awaiting you, welcoming you into my eternal embrace. As you listen to the call from eternity, your heart may still echo with memories of the trials you've endured. There were days you thought you couldn't go on, nights when shadows of doubt and fear cloaked your soul, and you ask, did those hardships hold meaning in the grand design? I tell you, not one pain in your life was wasted, not one trial unnecessary. All were threads I used to weave the unique design of your soul. Imagine the great tapestry I am weaving from millions of souls across all time. Each soul is a thread, and every experience of yours, joyful or painful, adds color and depth to the whole. If even one thread were missing, the design would be incomplete. Likewise, the challenges you've endured are not stains but strokes of beauty, shaping the richness and depth of who you are. My child, throughout your journey on earth, I have seen each time you knelt in despair, every tear shed under burdens too heavy to carry. But I also saw the times you stood up again after falling, the moments you chose forgiveness over bitterness, and the days you walked forward in faith even when the path was unclear. These are precious to me, for it is in those moments that your soul grew in likeness to mine. You may think you have failed because your heart still bears unhealed wounds and lingering fears. But oh, my child, I do not see you with judgment. I look upon you as a loving father watching his beloved child learn life's deepest lessons. Wund, when placed in my hands, becomes a fountain of healing, not only for you, but for others. I reveal my power through what you consider weakness. Remember this, a refined soul is not shaped by ease, but through trial. As gold must pass through fire to become pure, so your soul has been tempered by the flames of earthly challenges. Every time you chose humility in the face of misunderstanding, every time you loved through pain, you etched eternal patterns into the fabric of your being, patterns that will never fade. My child, not one tear you have shed is lost. I have gathered them all into my cup. Not one prayer you whispered in loneliness has gone unheard. You may think your pleas were unanswered, but I say to you, every prayer has borne fruit. Perhaps not in the way you expected, but always in the way most fitting for the growth of your soul. Look back at the path you've walked. How many times did you feel you could not go on? Yet here you are, still standing. That was no accident. It was I who held your hand, carried you through the most treacherous turns. You may not have seen me, but in your weakest moments, I was cradling you in my arms. Those footprints in the sand you thought were yours alone, they were mine, carrying you. Beloved child, every trial you faced has expanded your heart, deepened your empathy for the pain of others. Every moment you suffered in silence without complaint brought my light into the world. These are not meaningless. They are the treasures you will carry into eternity, where every seed of goodness you sowed will bloom in radiant splendor. So do not let your scars cause you to doubt your worth. In me, you are precious, a masterpiece in the making. The trials did not lessen your value. They revealed it. They have shaped in you the image of endurance, compassion, and everlasting beauty. When you pass through the gate into eternal life, you will see that every tear, every sorrow, Every act of quiet resilience has become a jewel in the crown of your soul. When you reflect on your suffering, you may ask, why did I allow such pain? Why must your path be rocky? Rather than a path of flowers, listen to me. Child, nothing in your life has happened outside my wisdom. Every difficulty came not to break you, but to awaken depths within you that would have remained untouched otherwise. Do you know why the great tree stands firm in storms? Not because it avoids the winds, but because its roots have grown deep through seasons of rain and wind. Likewise, your soul, through each hardship, has sunk its roots deeper into me. It was in the darkest hours, when your own strength failed, that you learned to cling to me and found strength in the wellspring that never runs dry. There are wounds in your life that the mind cannot explain, losses that seem senseless, nights without dawn. But behind each sorrow, my hands were shaping your soul like a master potter, molding fine clay. If you surrender to those hands, if you allow my love to seep into your cracks, then those very fractures will become the places where my light shines through, revealing a beauty in you even you could never have imagined. Do not close your heart to your wounds. Do not be ashamed of your weakness. In my kingdom, weakness is not despised. It is the very place where my healing power is most fully revealed. When you humbly bring your brokenness before me, when you do not hide your pain, you open a path for my grace to pour in, and that grace will not only restore you, it will make you a vessel of healing for others. Know this, mercy is not born in hearts untouched by pain, but in those who have known sorrow and learned to love through it. If you had never known loss, how could you hold another in their grief? If you had never felt loneliness, how could you walk with the lonely? These experiences do not diminish your worth in my eyes. They tenderize your heart, deepen your spirit, and draw you closer to my likeness. Child, every time you chose to rise after falling, every time you chose love over fear, every time you trusted me without seeing the way, you were helping weave a sacred picture. This picture is not all bright hues, but rich with the deep tones of your trials, and it is this blend that brings fullness and beauty. In eternity, you will see that tapestry unveiled in glory, and you will understand that not one detail was wasted. At times, you may wish your life had been easier, with less pain and fewer losses. But child, had I only led you through flowery paths, your soul would not have known perseverance, patience, or deep trust. These cannot be learned in comfort. They are forged in fire, and I love you too deeply to let you live a shallow life. My precious child, know this, when you feel too weak to go on, I do not scold you. I rejoice when you return to me for refuge. Your dependence is not failure. It is the sacred bond between us. That bond is the anchor that will hold you through every storm. So when you look back on your trials, do not despair. Every drop of sweat, every tear shed has been precious to me. They are seeds planted in sacred soil, and in my time, they will bear fruit that will never fade. When you step into eternity, you will see this clearly, and your heart will overflow with joy to find that everything had meaning, that every moment was part of your journey with me. Now, having seen that trials are never in vain, I invite you to take one more step, release the self, and surrender to the divine flow of grace. For it is when you lay down your will, when you stop resisting the natural unfolding of your journey, that you will find true freedom, not of this world, but of my eternal realm. How many times in your life have you grown weary from holding tightly to things that no longer served your soul? How often have you clung to worry for fear of losing control? Or chased expectations, your own or others, believing you must meet them at all costs? But child, those are not the burdens I've asked you to carry. I did not create you to walk bowed under the weight of ego and fear. I made you to be light, to rise freely in the current of my love. Look at the birds gliding across the sky. They do not grasp the wind, nor fight against it. They spread their wings and let it carry them. And thus, they soar. So too will your soul, when it yields to grace, when it lets me steer the vessel of your life. You will rise beyond the limits of your own understanding. And then, the burdens that once crushed you will be seen for what they are, illusions never meant to hold you. I know what I say may feel contrary to your instincts. You've grown used to planning, to control, to forging your path. But ask yourself, how often did those plans bring lasting peace? Or did your heart still feel restless? Still long for more? This is why I call you, learn the art of surrender. Not of giving up, but of giving in to me. Not abandoning your purpose, but releasing your grip on what is fleeting. When you let go of your ego, you do not lose yourself. You find your truest self, the one made in my image, full of light, humility, freedom, and overflowing love. The layers the world placed on you, the defenses built by pain, will fall away, and your soul will shine with the pure beauty I placed in you from the beginning. My child, when you enter the flow of grace, when you let me guide your journey, you will be amazed to find that what once seemed so hard to grasp comes gently, as a gift, not because effort is unneeded, but because your effort will no longer resist life. It will move with me in harmony, and everything you do, every word you speak, every step you take will carry the fragrance of peace and the life of heaven. So many souls spend their lives clinging to the self, fearing the world will collapse if they let go. But the truth is, when you release yourself into my arms, you do not fall. You rise. It is in that surrender that you will find unshakable peace. Peace that surpasses all worldly understanding. Look to the clear, flowing stream. It bends with every twist, glides over every stone, never clinging to any one form, but always willing to become new, so it may reach the ocean. Your soul is invited to the same, to not lock itself into old patterns, not grasp the world's fleeting definitions of worth, but to let me renew you, so you may grow more and more into my likeness. So when you hear my voice calling, when you feel the rhythm of the universe resounding in your soul, respond with a heart soft and willing. Do not fear the letting go, for ahead of you is new life, a freedom greater than anything you've ever known. I do not call you to take something away, but to give you far more in return. And when you rest in my grace, you will see every trial can become a door into a deeper place of love and into light without end. My beloved child, when you have learned to let go of the ego and surrender to the sacred current, I invite you to step into a space of complete freedom, where your soul is no longer bound by the burdens of memory or anxiety about the future. This is the gift I have prepared for you, true freedom, not constrained by the invisible chains that often shroud the human soul. So many souls spend their lives in bondage, not to visible shackles, but to thoughts, fears, and guilt they carry within. Unspoken words, unforgiven faults, unfulfilled desire. All become silent, shadows pressing heavily upon the soul, keeping them from peace, keeping them from soaring. But, my child, in me, no darkness is beyond the reach of light. No burden exists that I cannot help you cast off. Remember, from the moment I created you, I never intended for you to carry burdens that were never yours. The harsh standards of mankind, the impossible expectations of society, the critical voices that left you confused. None of these are my voice. My voice is always a call into life, into freedom, into rest within my unchanging love. Oh, child, how many times have you told yourself that you were not enough, that you had to try harder, to be better, to be worthy of my love? But I say to you, my love for you is never based on achievement or your perfection. I love you because you are you. Even if you have stumbled, doubted, or wandered away, that love remains unchanged. In your weakest moments, when you feel most empty, I long all the more to gather you into my arms and fill you with grace. So today, let me lead you into true freedom. Lay down the burdens of the past, the mistakes you cannot forget, the wounds you thought would never heal. Bring them all to me. I did not come to judge you, but to heal you, not to remind you of what you lack, but to remind you that in me, there is always a new beginning. Imagine your soul as a bird once caged in shame and fear. Every time you forgive yourself, every time you dare to look back at your past with compassion instead of blame, the door of that cage opens wider. And when you fully surrender to me, when you accept that you are loved unconditionally, then the bird within you will soar freely into the sky of grace. My child, I did not create you for a life of mere survival, of timid existence. I created you for abundance, for freedom, for joy. Not fleeting joy from the world, but a deep gladness that springs from knowing you belong to me, that you are wholly accepted. When you enter eternal life, that joy will blaze even brighter. But even now, you can begin to taste it as you release the weight of the past. Know this, in my eyes, nothing in your life is meaningless. Even the driest seasons, the loneliest roads, are places where I secretly sowed seeds of growth within you. And when you allow me to lift the burden, when you open your heart to the wind of grace, you will see those seeds sprout and bear unexpected fruit. Do not be afraid to move forward even if your heart still feels heavy. Do not let the past hold your wings. What needed forgiveness? I have already forgiven. What needs release? I will help you let go. What needs healing? I myself will restore. Your task is not to rescue yourself by striving, but to yield, to let me do what only I can do within you. And when you step into that freedom, your soul will begin to sing a new song, no longer the song of heaviness or shame, but the song of a beloved child, pleasing to the Father above, a song where every note is thanksgiving, every melody soaked in grace. And from this song, you will not only be healed, you will become a wellspring of inspiration for other souls, still longing for the freedom you once yearned for. My beloved child, as you begin to taste the freedom that comes from laying down what is no longer needed, I invite you to look deeper into the true nature of your soul. Perhaps throughout the years, you've grown accustomed to defining yourself by your roles, your achievements, what others have said about you, or even your past failures. But, my child, in the light of eternity, all of that is temporary. They do not define you. They are not who you are. Who are you? You are a spark of divinity, the breath of the eternal breathed into this temporal world. Within you is a part of me, untouched by failure, untainted by human judgment, unchanged by what you have or have not done. That deepest core remains radiant, pure, and preserved by me from before time began. And as you surrender all narrow definitions of self, you will begin to rediscover that light within your own soul. My child, it is no coincidence that I have said your soul is eternal. This body may age and memory may fade, but your soul does not. It bears the mark of immortality, made to transcend every boundary of space and time. And so, as you draw near to eternity, know that you are not losing anything truly precious. On the contrary, you are stepping into the fullness of who you are, reuniting with the sacred origin from which you came. Have you ever wondered why? Even after all you've accomplished, there remains a deep longing within you that nothing seems to satisfy. That is because your soul was made for communion with me, for eternal life, for a depth of love that nothing on earth can replace. Your achievements, your relationships, even your earthly joys, no matter how beautiful, are but faint reflections of the communion you will fully experience in me. So when you release the burdens of your past, when you allow me to strip away the layers of ego, you are not becoming smaller. You are returning to the vastness of your true being. You are allowing the light already within you to shine forth, and that light is not only to illuminate your path, but to cast hope and love into the world, so that through you, other souls may see the radiance of my love. My child, do not fear the unknown. Do not let questions about the eternal realm unsettle your heart. Remember, you were created for that realm. Nothing there is foreign to your truest essence. When you enter in, you will not feel like a stranger in a new land. Rather, you will know this is home. Every nameless ache your heart has carried will be answered. Every unspoken longing will be fulfilled. Every wound that ever caused you unrest will be healed. Picture your soul as a brilliant star shining in the sacred sky. Every act of love you have done, every sincere prayer, every choice for good over evil, each has added to its brilliance. And when you step into eternity, that light will no longer be dimmed by shadow or confined by flesh. It will shine freely, fully, joined in harmony with the grand symphony of light composed by countless other souls in the heavenly realm. Therefore, I call you, let your soul rise. Do not let small ideas of yourself hold you back. Do not let the judgments of others make you hesitate. You were not made to live in fear or regret. You were made to shine, to step into a dimension of love where everything you have ever longed for finds its most perfect fulfillment. And as you allow your soul to be free in this way, as you permit the light within you to radiate outward, you will become an instrument of peace in this world. Even as you pass through this life, the impact of your existence will continue. Every beam of light you've sown will keep spreading, touching other souls, becoming waves of love that never cease. So, my child, step forward, with a heart no longer burdened, with a soul lifted by eternal hope and love. My beloved child, now that you have recognized the divine essence within your soul and released the burdens that once held back your steps, I now invite you into a higher awareness. The journey ahead is not one of solitude. You are not entering eternity as a lone traveler across vast space. On the contrary, you will be embraced by a sacred communion, a fellowship that surpasses all boundaries of language or time. Imagine, a dance of light, where millions of souls move in the rhythm of love. There is no separation by era, no distance between those once divided by geography or circumstance. Every soul is welcomed in the embrace of eternal wisdom, and each has a place in that great cosmic dance. You will no longer feel alone, for you will know, fully and deeply, that you have always belonged there. Those who once journeyed with you on earth, the ones you loved and thought lost, they will be there. They are not just memories, but living presences, radiant in the glory I have prepared for them. The reunion will be unmarred by misunderstanding, unhindered by the limitations of language or the boundaries of the body. All that was unsaid, all love once interrupted, will be made whole in the light of eternity. Know this, even now, while still on earth, you have always been surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, souls who watched over you, encouraged you in your sacred race. At times when you felt alone in battle, I had already placed my angels beside you, and the prayers of the saints echoed toward you, lifting you when you were weary. Now, as you cross the threshold into eternal life, the veil will be removed, and you will see more clearly than ever the depth of that connection. Not only that, my child, but as you enter eternity, you will discover that every loving act you ever performed on earth echoes beyond time. Words of comfort you once gave to someone in despair, the quiet acts of kindness you carried out, the prayers you offered for others, all of it continues, becoming life-giving streams in the eternal realm, refreshing and renewing many other souls. Understand, every act born of love carries eternal weight. The smallest things you thought no one noticed, a smile, a word of forgiveness, a look of compassion, each holds great worth in my realm. And when you arrive in my eternal embrace, you will witness the harvest of fruit you never imagined. You will see that your life touched not only those you knew, but souls far beyond, through invisible threads that only I could trace. My beloved child, when you enter eternity, you will feel a freedom unlike anything you have ever known. Freedom from time's grip, freedom from fear of tomorrow, freedom from the ties of the flesh. In that sacred space, everything finds perfect harmony. The past and the present will no longer be divided. Every beautiful memory will be purified and treasured like a radiant gem in the treasury of your soul, and all that was once incomplete on earth will be made whole by my wisdom and love. My child, do not think that stepping into eternity means losing your identity. On the contrary, you will rediscover yourself more fully than ever before. The good gifts I placed in you from the beginning will shine without obstruction. You will understand, with awe, why I made you just as you are, with your unique gifts, désirs, and abilities, and you will see that each of these has its place in the great dance of creation. So let your soul fly free. Do not let fear of the unknown hold you back. Do not think you must have all the answers before you move forward. I do not ask you to understand everything. I simply invite you to trust in my love, to surrender to the unwavering grace I offer. And as you do, you will discover that the path ahead is not an end, but an unfolding, a radiant opening into the infinite depth of love, of life, of joy no earthly words could ever fully capture. My beloved child, when you understand that the journey ahead is not an end but an opening, I now speak to you of a profound truth. Every ending in the earthly realm is merely a door to a brighter beginning in my eternal plan. What you once feared as death, in my light, is only a curve in the endless path of the soul. There is no finality, only continuation. From glory to glory. Have you ever watched the sun set? My child, when twilight descends, it may seem that light is fading. But in truth, the sun has not disappeared. It has simply turned to illuminate another part of the world. In the same way, when you depart the earthly realm, your light does not go out. It simply shifts into a new dimension, where it can shine even more brilliantly, no longer veiled by the limitations of the body and circumstance. In every moment of your life, I have been weaving a tapestry far greater than you can imagine. Seasons that felt like waiting, trials that seemed meaningless. Each was preparing your soul to mature and enter the next chapter. No season in your life is wasted. Every experience, sweet or bitter, is a necessary piece of the whole story of your being. Perhaps you've thought there was still so much left, unfinished, so many dreams unfulfilled. But remember, in my realm, nothing good is ever truly left undone. What you have begun will continue to bear fruit. Even when you are no longer among the living, the love you've sown, the prayers you've lifted, the seeds of hope you've scattered, they will keep growing under my care. Be at peace knowing that your journey was never in vain. Every faithful step, every time you rose after a fall, every moment you chose to trust me in the darkness, I have seen it all, and these very things have prepared you for this moment, the moment of entering fullness of life, where you will see clearly that I was with you in every breath, every heartbeat, every tear. So do not be afraid to move forward. Do not let unanswered questions hold you back. I do not call you into eternity with a perfect resume, but with a tender heart willing to be filled by my love. You don't need to understand everything to be welcomed. You only need to trust that I am the one who loves you, who has prepared a place for you where your soul's deepest longings will be completely fulfilled. Picture, my child, a new dawn awaiting you, a realm of light where there are no more tears, no more sorrow, no more shadows. There, the limits of time and space dissolve. Those fleeting moments on earth when you felt closest to heaven will now be your living, breathing reality. And when you enter this realm, you will understand that all your earthly days were but the prelude to an eternal symphony, life on earth, with its joys and trials. There was the training ground for your soul's maturation into everlasting life. Nothing was wasted. No experience was in vain. All of it contributed to the person I cherish and delight in. Therefore, when you hear my call, when you feel the time has come, step forward in trust. Know that you are not entering a strange land. You are coming home, a home prepared for you before your first breath, a place your soul has always longed for, even when it couldn't name that longing. And there I will be, not as a stern judge, but as a loving father with open arms, full of grace and joyful welcome. As you walk toward this new dawn, my child, I want you to know this. In eternity, the tapestry of your life is not only preserved, but glorified. Every moment you lived, every choice made in love and goodness, is woven into the eternal fabric of the universe. No act of kindness, no prayer, no offering of forgiveness you gave has been forgotten. You may think your life was not remarkable, that you were just one among many. But my gaze is not like the world's. I do not measure a soul by power or fame. I see the hidden intentions of your heart. I see the moments you chose, love over anger, the prayers whispered in secret, the compassion you extended without recognition. These shine more brightly to me than any worldly glory. In eternity, You will no longer be confined by fragmented memory as you were on earth. You will see your life as a whole, a masterpiece. The parts that seemed confusing or painful will be made clear, and you will understand how every sorrow, every joy, every step was essential in composing the sacred song of your existence. Picture a space where every soul shines like a star. Each carries its own light, nourished by their experiences of love. When you enter that realm, your light will blend with the radiance of countless others, creating a magnificent symphony never before seen on earth. In that unity, you will feel a joy deeper than any words can describe. You will realize that even the smallest acts of your life had a far-reaching impact, a timely word of encouragement, an outstretched hand, a quiet act of faithfulness. All these sent ripples of love farther than you ever imagined. And when you see this, your heart will overflow with joy and gratitude, knowing your life mattered far more than you knew. Know this too, nothing lost is beyond my restoration. Broken relationships, dreams that faded, love unspoken, in eternity, all will be made whole. I am the restorer of all things. I give not only what was, but more, abundantly, completely, eternally. And when you enter this place, you will see that nothing was wasted. My child, do not think your influence ends when you pass from this world. From eternity, your life will continue to flow with love and grace. Seeds you sowed will keep growing. Prayers you offered will keep echoing. Lessons you lived will keep touching lives. Your life is not a closed stream. It is a river flowing into the vast ocean of life without end. So look ahead without fear. Let not the unclear details deter your steps. I have walked with you through every moment of this life, and I will walk with you into the next. The door before you does not lead into darkness, but into a brilliance far greater than any light you've ever known. My beloved child, now that your heart is prepared to enter the next chapter of your eternal journey, I speak once more, do not look back in regret or sorrow. All that you needed to learn, you have learned. Every trial you were to overcome, you endured with faith. Every love you were meant to give, you gave freely. Now lift your head and step forward in holy anticipation. For what awaits you is more glorious than anything you ever imagined. Picture a land where your soul is utterly free, where every heartbeat is a song of praise, where every breath is in harmony with eternal love. There is no separation there, no loneliness, no remaining sorrow. Every tear you ever cried, I have wiped away. Every wound you bore, I will heal. Every fear that ever clung to you will vanish like morning mist in the sun. In that realm, all the love you offered on earth will be seen in its full splendor. No more misunderstandings. No more barriers of culture or words. No unseen walls. Every act of forgiveness, every open-hearted moment, every tear of empathy will shine like stars in the eternal sky. And as you join in the everlasting dance of life, you will feel the profound truth. You are an essential part of the grand design. Though on earth you may have felt small or questioned your purpose, in eternal light, you will see that each moment you lived in, my presence helped weave the radiant tapestry of heaven. My beloved child, nothing delights me more than seeing you enter into perfect freedom. Nothing pleases me more than when you recognize your true worth in me. You are not lost in a vast cosmos. You are my beloved, created in love, redeemed in grace, called into an everlasting life that will never fade. And as you stand at the threshold of eternity, know that behind you lies a journey to be cherished, and before you stretches an endless horizon of light and love. Nothing in that realm is foreign to your soul. Every ache you ever carried, every deep yearning, will find its fulfillment in my embrace. My child, I say it once more, walk forward in faith. Do not let the lies of darkness hold you back. Do not let the voices of the past keep you afraid. Let my light shine into every deep place within, so that you may enter eternity with a heart unburdened, light, and free. Know that when you arrive, I will welcome you, not with judgment, but with open arms. You will not hear condemnation, but blessing, well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord. These words are not reserved for the celebrated, but for every soul who lived in love, in faithfulness, in reverence for me. And in that kingdom, you will not walk alone. Those you loved will be there. Those you comforted will welcome you. Angels will rejoice with singing, and I myself will guide you through every path of your new life. A life without end, where every day is a new song, every moment a deeper discovery of my boundless love. So breathe deeply, my child. Let every fear melt away. Let every doubt be still. Now is the time for you to enter fullness. The journey on earth has been beautiful, but the journey ahead is even more radiant. And in every pulse of that eternal light, you will know you are forever mine, and nothing in all creation, not life or death, not the present or the future, can ever separate you from my love. Thank you for receiving this message today. Subscribe and turn on notifications to continue receiving words of life. Building a faith unshakable and walking in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.